Are you changing with the world or you're just there? Hello there, welcome to The Way We Live. On today's show, I have with me the state president of Digital Umbrella, a CDS group, Mr. Nelson Tedo.
Thank you.
And I also have here the digital strategist, Mr. Ireoluwa Akinriola. It's good to have you on the show.
Same here.
Okay, so let's dive into the question immediately. So we are talking about digital literacy, and before I even ask what digital literacy and all, I'd like to know what really inspired this particular awareness campaign. Was it just a thing you wanted to do because you are the state president, or you actually saw something and you were really motivated to do this?
Okay, thank you for that question. Um, it's said that the world is becoming a global village, and looking at youth unemployability in Nigeria,
Okay.
we have a lot of graduates who are on the streets who are not employed, primarily because they're unemployable. And we are currently in the fourth industrial revolution, and our educational system in Nigeria has not yet moved with the current trends that are happening at the global scale. Being abreast of that fact, I thought it wise to bring to the notice of the public what's currently happening at the global scale. The world has actually moved away from education-based jobs to tech-based jobs. We would say whenever you want to do something, you need to refer to people who have an authority in that particular field. I came across an article some time ago by Klaus Schwab, Professor Klaus Schwab, actually the executive director of World Economic Forum, about an article he wrote about the fourth industrial revolution. That in the coming years, there's going to be a shifting, or rather, a movement of what employability looks like from certification to being skill based. With currently, we are living in that era, an era where AI powers almost everything. And Nigeria as a nation state has not yet adopted technology across all levels, especially in our academic system. You would all agree with me that we still learn computer in our schools on the board
Yes, that's true.
with no live applications. You have a computer science graduate, sorry, who can't write any programming language at all. So what we're actually doing is to let the world know, let Nigerians know that this is what's actually happening. Beyond an activity, we are seeing this to be a forum where we can be able to sensitize the nation for them to know that, okay, this is what's actually happening at the global scale. Thank you.
Okay, let's go over to our digital strategies. So let's look at the world from the analog point of view. And he has really said a lot we got me thinking. Do you think that we Nigerians are really lagging behind? And if it is yes, that means that there is a part of us that have not really accepted the digital culture because, I mean, in your own opinion, of what use or of what's in need of what's being digitalized.
Okay. So, like you earlier mentioned, we're already in the fourth industrial revolution,
Okay.
right? And tech is the new oil, and data the new gold, right? So, it's other put now, it's a no-brainer for you to, or rather, it will be a bad disadvantage for you not to be abreast with any form of digital literacy. And bringing it to practicality, in advanced countries, we have what we call telemedicine, where people come, right, or at the comfort of their home, people are actually going through ailments or the others can get medical attention,
Yeah, that's true.
right? Another way this can be used is I come to there's an emergency and the patient is carried to an hospital, right? And data of this patient is online by virtue of telemedicine. Data of this patient is online. So from any hospital in the country, I can get basic information of this patient without necessarily the patient being aware. Oh, the patient is so unconscious. I need this blood group. I need this. I need that. Telemedicine, I can get all this information. That's how digital literacy and tech in general has made the world advance, and we lagging behind at this point has robbed us of that particular advantage.
Okay, so now it's getting quite interesting. So when you say digital literate, at some point in our life, I mean, I can remember when I was in nursery school, I was shown what that very funny computer looks like. So who exactly can we say is a computer literate? Because I mean, all of us, at least, we have seen pressed a laptop before. So who are we referring to when we say computer literate and no?
Literate. Okay, thank you very much for that question. I think I can answer that question with another question.
Okay,
What does it mean to say someone is literate in other perspectives?
okay,
If you see someone is literate with regard to formal education, is somebody who can read and write effectively, probably in the person's official language. In a Nigerian context, English language, right? So if you're
yes,
saying somebody is digitally literate or computer literate, is someone who can be able to use computer technologies effectively across all borders. Thank you.
okay, computer technologies. I'll still come back to that question. But
Okay.
from the way we're talking, is it new for us because the whole data thing you were mentioning, um, um, why do we? I still want to know why do we need this? Because look, we don't have it, and somehow I know we are not okay, but we move. But why do we really? How can we convince people that we really need this? Especially people who, people in the 18th century. How can we, in the 18th century, how can we convince them that we really need this in our world?
All right, so I think 2 years ago, the famous Paystack was sold, right, for
Okay.
200 million, and this was by two individuals, just in their early 30s. That's Ezra Luby and his co-founder. That's I can't remember his name now. Right, these two individuals sold their startup for over 200 million, and
It's
that's tell
huge.
you the value that's in the tech. That's tell you the value that's in tech, and many other rising stars are building amazing tech solutions that are raising huge money. We have a number of unicorns in Nigeria, like OP, Flutterwave, right?
Okay.
We have Andela.
Yes,
These
T.
are amazing tech solutions, and that's the that there is potential, there's value in tech, in digital literacy, just all written from digital literacy, right? So if we can just tap into that value, there's a world of possibility that lies ahead of us.
Okay, it's getting interesting again. So now let's be very, very realistic, right?
Okay.
Okay. Now, I mean, you say 200 million, and I'm so blown away. I really want to have this money.
Mind you, it's not naira, it's dollars.
Dollars.
Dollars. Oh my God. Okay, so now it's one thing to say it. Now it's another thing to do it.
Okay.
Now the idea of this is to create an awareness campaign.
Yeah.
So now, apart from just saying, how do you intend to really, really push it out to the people out there that look, this is real, this is important, and you need to, be a part of this. Apart from just speaking English, what other ways do you hope to, clearly pass this message convincingly?
Okay. I'll talk a little bit about that question, and then I'll refer to my co to my co-host, right? If I use the word correctly.
Okay.
Let me speak from the standpoint of my CDS.
Okay.
We are called digital onboarders, not just by name, but we actually do digital. And in our little way, in the course of our service here, and in the course of my tenure as president, um, we've had a handful of sensitizations, hand-on sensitizations, where we went to schools, to various schools, a handful of schools in Okasat local government, and then we had the privilege of teaching the students some technologies. We taught them about web development, we taught them about web design, we taught them about graphics, and we were able to give them hands-on information on how they can be able to go about being professionals in those areas.
Okay.
And I'll talk a little bit about this, and then Mr. Irola will take on from there, because he's currently working with Anambra State ICT Agency, and the state governor, in person of Professor Soludo, is actually the digital governor of Anambra State,
Wow.
who has actually embraced technology and the prospects in technology, and is trying to make Anambra a digital state. So please, sir, over to you. Can you give us more light on that?
Okay. I feel that It's not something we need to rush over. So let's just go on a break and then give everybody a chance. In case you're just joining us, this is an opportunity for you to pick your diary and your pen, because trust me, you don't want to miss this next segment. We'll be right back. Welcome back. I trust you're with your pen and your diary. This is The Way We Live, and you're hanging out with Emejon James, the anchor for the day. And this is the state president of Digital Ombudsman CDS, in person of Mr. Nelson Tedo, and our digital strategist, Mr. Ire Oluwa Akinriola. Forgive me if I'm not getting the name right. Okay, so let's go back to the question.
All right, so following up with the question, right?
Okay.
How we intend to drive digital literacy apart from the awareness, right? And coming from the standpoint of the intervention of Mr. Governor, that's Professor Charles Soludo, CFR, the distribution of laptops to civil servants across Anambra State government has been one major intervention. Because it's one thing to have resources, and to have the commitment. You can have the commitment, but once there's no resource, there's how far that commitment can take you, right? And last year, I mean, you want to learn coding and then there's no laptop to learn it. With time, your passion will eventually wane off, right? But making available the devices and then the commitment on the other hand is a major this combination will drive digital literacy, right, at an exponential rate. Another one was the training, which was privileged to be part of the facilitators. We did training for a number of civil servants in Anambra State government. That's teaching them how to use Microsoft packages, Microsoft Office, Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Excel, OneCloud, and all other Microsoft packages, right? With regards to how they carry out their day-to-day activities. And I still remember the SSG, right, mentioning that henceforth communications will not be passed the usual way, to be passed via mail or communication. That's just a way of initially adopting digital literacy in the government, which is another major way. So it's not just limited to the awareness. There are so many other measures that can be taken in driving digital literacy and the adoption of digital transformation in Anambra State.
Wow, I'm so impressed. It's actually so. What about our own laptop now? Are you for real? Wow.
So apparently it's happening in phases. This is the first phase. I think 200 laptops were distributed this particular first phase. So subsequent phases, more laptops will be distributed to our civil servants.
Your Excellency, sir. Anyways, I'm going to reserve my comments. But let's go. Now you talked about the very important step the governor took in making sure everybody embraced this. Now, how long can someone look? Like, for instance, I'm given a laptop, I'm given data. How long will it take for me to actually come to a point where I can, be classified as a digital literate? How long? What's the journey like? Is it 2 years? Is it 4 years? Because when you talk about digital literacy, I have a friend who decided to do. There was a time that I think before coming for service, there was this guy who came up and was like, "Let's learn this." And trust me, the first class, jeez, I'm like, I felt like I was in a math class because it was so complicated. And I'm like, so how long this training? How long are we looking at?
So let me come from the standpoint of there are 4 levels to digital literacy.
Okay.
There's basic usage, application, and development. That's the third one. Then transformation, right? For basic usage means that you just want to write a letter. Instead of you having to use your diary and paper to write a letter, you can go on Microsoft Word and type your letter. That's basic usage, everyday usage, right? For application, it then advances. So instead of you having to write a letter, put it in an envelope and send it via the post office, you can now use your email application of tech, right? Development of tech now is another advanced level where you are no longer looking at the everyday usage of manual or analog solutions, and are looking for how to develop solutions digitally to meet your needs, right? Take for example, Anambra State. We're no longer, the ICT agency is currently working on a particular project to transform the ID cards of civil servants. So instead of using your normal ID cards, we are now using e-ID cards. So by scanning of the QR code, you can get the basic information of civil servants in Anambra. You can verify if this person is
actually
a civil servant or not, right? So that's the third level, which is development, and then there's now transformation, which is beyond these three levels, and as basic as going into the Internet of Things. So now doors are open on their own accord. Street lights are connected to major facilities in the state, so everything is there's this form of interoperability between all aspects of the country or the state.
so what
So now answering the question with view of these three levels,
stages, yes.
how long it will take for basic
For
usage?
for every stage, how long?
For basic usage, right? Dependent on your commitment, right? Dependent on your commitment and proper guidance. Depending on your commitment and proper guidance, right? I feel 2 months should be fine. I feel even 2 months is a lot. It's a lot, to be honest. Because once you have your laptop, you have a guide and you're committed to learning this. In 1 month, you should be fine. You should be able to do a number of things for basic usage.
This is quite amazing. Okay, so now we talked about pillars. There's something called pillars of digital literacy, and then he has talked about the stages. So let's say, for instance, okay, fine, I'm in stage 2, and then, but there are other things I need to learn. So let's say you talk about the pillars of digital literacy, and I would like you to really break it down, to the. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I'd love to go a little bit detail about this.
Okay.
Let's talk about building technology. When you hear about the word pillar, what comes to your mind, right? Like it's a kind of support system, right?
Yes.
It's what holds stuff together. If you have a pillar in your, probably a human pillar. If you're speaking metaphorically, you see you have a pillar in your life, somebody who actually is there, who's standing there by you, and like in all times.
Right.
However, when you're talking about pillars with regards to digital literacy, or rather being computer literate, we're not really being that direct. We're talking about basically 4 things. The first is you becoming abreast with existing technology. Okay, what exists? What's available? What can be obtained? Okay, if I have an issue, for instance, I'm a final year student, probably in a research institution, and I want to do my project work. What are the available softwares that I can be able to make use of it? Okay, when finding that, can I be able to make use of those softwares? So getting proper knowledge and having proper information on how to use existing technologies is very important. And then secondly, learning how to communicate online. I spoke earlier about the fact that we're in the 4th industrial revolution, and what really powers this current industrial revolution is information, right? Yes. So after getting a sound knowledge of the systems available, what's obtainable in the market, the technology available, you learn how to communicate effectively via these platforms. In times past, it would take an average of, let's say, a week for you to send a letter from Anambra State to, let's say, Benue, which is just less than 200 kilometers away. But today, you can do that on the go. As we're speaking here, you can have a seamless communication via a lot of social media platforms and teleconferencing platforms like Microsoft Teams, like the Google Meet, and all of that. So learning how to communicate appropriately and effectively with a lot of these options you have available is one of the pillars. And then thirdly, learning how to manage your ideas online. There's something we call intellectual theft. Before the advent of the information age, what we really had then, we talked about intellectual property with regards having to steal someone's ideas in the form of a physical book, which was actually very difficult. You need to go and have access to this physical book to reproduce. But in this current era, we are dealing with electronic versions of everything. You can be able to publish a book from the comfort of your bedroom using artificial intelligence platforms like the Chat GPT that can give you mad ideas in your bedroom at the comfort of your home, and then you can be able to send out crazy things that like will blow the minds of people out there. So being able to manage those ideas effectively and in a way that nobody gets to steal your idea and you'll be like, oh, I'm the one that actually brought this idea first and all. Let me give you a practical example of this. I believe a couple of persons watching us may have heard of the saga between Apple computers and Microsoft. How Steve Jobs claimed that all of what Microsoft was built on was his ideas and all. That's a practical example of what I'm talking about. Yes, Steve was quite smart. He had the technical know-how to develop stuff. Bill Gates was smarter. He had the technical know-how how to sell. So it's all about who took this product to the market first. It was not really about who actually developed the technology and all. And then the final pillar is learning how to manage teams leveraging technology. You know, in times past, if you're the managing director of, let's say, Dangote group of companies, you need to be traveling all around to coordinate all of the branches across the nation or across the globe. But with the current technological advances, you have stuff like Microsoft Teams that I earlier mentioned, or Google Meet that could be from the comfort of your office and could know what's happening at the global scale from the comfort of your office. So these the four pillars I mentioned are the pillars of digital literacy. Thank you very much.
Wow. We still have lots to talk about, but before we go, I really like the fact that Anambra State Governor is really involved in this. Like, I'm so impressed. So now, in your own opinion, in just one word, do you think teachers should also, because I mean, if people from the government house are this helped and supported digitally, do you think that teachers in school should also be digitally educated for the sake of the students? If yes, how? In just one word.
Okay, cool. Maybe I might make use of two. So, first of all, you need to understand that the future of any particular region lies in the we nurture the children, right? And teachers are the people that have been given a particular assignment to nurture the future of that particular region or any country in the state. So it's not a thing of if, it's a thing that it must be done, that teachers have to be equipped enough to be able to communicate digital literacy to the children, the upcoming future of that state, right? And how can this be achieved? Trainings, sensitizations, making available resources. I believe that it will go a long way in digital transformation in the state.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Nelson. Thank you so much, Mr. Realua. And thank you so much for spending this lovely time with us. Don't worry, we'll have another segment of these amazing. I mean, I don't think we can ever exhaust this topic. See you guys next week. I am Imogen James, and do well to be educated digitally. The world is changing, and guess what? It's not going to wait for you. Do have a lovely day.